Hey all, Shaken Gaming here. Patch notes version 1.4. You've all seen the patch notes a few days ago, but they didn't have any numbers or anything, so I didn't want to read them out loud and talk about them. But the basics are half pigs has an oink mechanic and dwarfs have a charge mechanic. Oink is a special race mechanic that procs on and off, and whenever it's on, an ability does something else than when it's off, so they're a bit more complex to use. Dwarfs accumulate charge and get bonuses when attacking depending on how much charge they have. Then there is a holiday event with pretty good rewards in it. And guild rates should be changed a bit. Tier 9 guild rate, let's see about that. How much did make it into? Yeah, thank you. Just for logging in. Let's start by looking at the guild rate. Mine is here. The version I tried on the test server was extremely hard. I don't know if they've changed it. I'll have to go back and look, make some tests before I can update on this. But it was extremely hard, requiring at least 20 active members to use their entire roster to down it. But it might be changed to something else now. Next up, do we have? No, not yet. Then I cannot talk about that part. What else do we have? The heroes. Let's check here. No. Yeah, they are here. Sorry. The level 7 abilities are ready for some characters. For example, Voiron's Venomate, that's why I went in and checked him here. So you can see some abilities changed. He's got even a level 8 ability once you get the materials to unlock it. So previously this was the max, 230% magic damage to all enemy poisons. Target for 2 turns. That changes 40% extra damage and poisons for 3 turns. And 60% more damage on level 8 whenever we can get that. That's different materials going up to 8. And how do we find these 7s? Money! Or you can get them in... that was cheeky. You can get them in the... No, yes. There's actually 5 in the tournament at the max at stage 10. 5, that will take some time to get 52, but still, you can get some there straight away as soon as the current tournament ends. Half pigs, that's next. I'm not going over all the new abilities, level 7 abilities, even though I would like to. But here's the new piggies. The first 2 that you'll be able to get are Cent and Turian, which is already farmable, and Bar and Rel, which not yet there. And on the dwarf side, we have Bordwin, which have a node. You can farm him straight away. And Sappy, yeah, she's got a node as well. So those are the 4 you can unlock now. The others, they don't have any way, you don't have any way to get them yet, but you can see them and you can read their kits. I'm not going over in full details about the kits yet, because I've only tried the 4 that are launched now, Scent and Bar and Baldwin and Sappy. They play rather differently, and I think there's a lot to consider when playing them. If we just take Bar and Rel, he's together with Scent and Turian. They have a strong synergy between each other, and several of these characters have. Basically, passive ability, no oink. Bar and Rel have a 50% chance to reduce damage from enemy attack by 30% and receive oink when they are hit. Whenever they take a turn, they lose oink. So less damage without oink, and then lose oink at the end of the turn. If Centurion are on the battlefield, both receive haste and tenacity increase for 2 turns at the start of battle. That's the first synergy coming up. Then they start very strong. I'll just go with the level 6 ability here. They start very strong because Barrel apply damage increase to all allies for 2 turns, apply extra potency increase to half-pigs and half-pig minions for 2 turns, and Centurion recover 25% turn meter, both Barrel and Centurion. When you combine that with Centurion's kit in a second, you'll see why. It's a strong start. Then he's got Hawknado, deal 90% physical damage to all enemies with oink. So that's when he's been hit. A 25% chance to inflict slow if he hasn't been hit. 25% chance to inflict bleeding instead. And, oops, level 6 again. His basic, 220% physical damage to an enemy with oink, 75% chance to daze. So if he's been hit and he takes a turn, he can daze for 2 turns. If he hasn't been hit, he recover 15% turn meter. So bleed and turn meter on his 2 damage abilities if he hasn't been hit. And if he has been hit, he'll apply slow and what was the other here? Sorry. Recover turn meter, of course. So that was Barrel, and then Centurion, whom he fits very well with. Oink, gain 40% armor increase. No oink, gain 25% speed increase. If Barrel are on the field, they receive the same buff. When a buff is applied to Centurion, if there is taunt on Centurion, they gain oink, otherwise they lose it. So same buff for Barrel. Debuff applied to Centurion. He gains oink if he has a taunt, otherwise he loses it. It's a bit complicated getting all this. Next ability, which is ready turn 1. Remove 2 debuffs, gain taunt, armor increase and regeneration for 2 turns, and slow for 1 turn. Sorry. It's a bit messy with these. Gain taunt and armor increase for 2 turns and slow for 1 turn. Recover shield, that's a debuff for himself, making him slower. That's nice. Recover shield equals 25% of maximum health. That's a lot. If Barrel are on the field, both gain crit chance increase for 2 turns. So you had Centurion, Barrel, if I can find my way around these. Barrel that did damage increase and potency, and then afterwards comes Centurion applying critical hit chance increase for 2 turns. So that makes Barrel's AoE hit very hard. Next one. Deal 210% physical damage to an enemy with oink, stun the enemy for 1 turn, send them to and gain slow for 1 turn. So second thing that can give them slow, making them just hold the taunt longer. No oink, remove 1 debuff from themselves and inflict it upon the target for the same number of turns. So that's take off a debuff and apply it to the opponent attacking you. Basic. Physical damage to 1 enemy with oink, call 1 random allied half-pick to assist. Without oink, inflict an armor decrease for 2 turns. So you see, a lot of things are going on with these guys. Leaders, they have wizard, but since you're not getting him yet, they are going to, at least in the beginning, use the other half-pick leader, which is Garum, and he will give half-picks and half-pick minions 10% tenacity increase for each allied goblin, and 10% crit damage increase for each half-pick, and 5% crit damage increase for each half-pick minion. The half-pick minions have 50% chance to assist half-pick's attacks, and half-pick minions are, of course, these guys. Instructor Gorham's summon ability. That was the half-picks. They definitely look interesting, but they're not killing everything by far. Their stats are very strong. Same goes with the dwarfs. Their kits are very strong, but we'll have to see how they perform when we get 2 or 3 more half-picks. Same goes with the dwarfs. Here we got Baldwin, and with the charge ability, on his passive increases penetration by 20 for every 1% of charge, meaning if he's got 100% charge, you will have 2000 penetration. If charge is less than 40% at the start of his turn, he gets charge. Sappy receives the same buff. That's the other character you can get now, and loses 10% charge upon taking damage. And then there's something for an unreleased character. I'm not going over that. Then he's got restore 20% charge to himself and Sappy, and 5% extra charge for every stack of armor decrease on enemies. And armor decreases evolves around his kit. If Baldwin's charge has reached 100%, Sappy and he receive crit chance increase for 2 turns. Then he's got his second ability. Hit all enemies, consume 25% charge. For every 5% charged, so that's up to 5 times, inflicts armor decrease to a random target for 1 turn. Oops. Let's go down. Of course, it's guaranteed at level 6, of course. And if you have 25% charge, you consume 25% charge and apply armor decrease to all enemies. At the basic, deals 300% physical damage to an enemy, consumes 20% charge. For every 1% consumed charge, gains 5% chance to remove 1 random debuff from an enemy. So that's 20%. And for every 1%, gains 5% chance to remove 1 random buff from an enemy. So if you have 20, you will use 20 and you will have 100% chance to remove 1 random buff from an enemy. Exactly. That was Baldwin. And the last one is Sappy. No leader here either. For each 1% of her charge, she gains crit damage increase. At the end of her turn, she gets charge 40% if she has less than 40%. Sorry, that was different. If at the end of turn charge is less than 40%, she restores turn meter. Baldwin receives the same buffs, just as he gave charge to Sappy. Sappy gives turn meter to Baldwin. Whenever she takes damage, she loses charge, just as Baldwin. Another buff or synergy with Baldur. Then there's her buff ability. Crit damage increase for 2 turns applies to 2 allies. Recover 15% charge and 5% charge to Baldwin and herself for each days on opponents. If her charge reaches 100, she and Baldwin gain potency increase for 2 turns. Then she's got an AoE, same percent as Baldwin, consumes charge. For every charge consumed, inflict daze. So kind of similar to Baldwin, just with daze instead of armor decrease. And again, instead of 10% on the basic, it's 10. Instead of 10% on Baldwin, it's 15. And for every 1%, crit chance increases. That was not the right ability level. But she gets crit chance increase for having charge. And if she lands a critical hit, it has 75% chance to inflict crit damage, crit chance decrease to the opponent hit for 2 turns. So as you can see, a lot going on with these. But they're very fun to play with, and I guess a lot of interesting strategies will be made. They're also fun to look at least the half picks. The healer, the wizard or mage, and the archer guy. And then the dwarfs, whom I haven't looked quite as much at, but Sappy and Baldwin both charges, synergizes with this guy, Baldur, leader, a legendary, and a tank. Sappy, tool, tactician, and fighter, ranger, Tobald. And that was the leader here, and also the legendary for the half picks. What else is there to say? Not sure. Could look at some of the level 7 abilities, but I'll have to cut in and out of that because I don't know how many, or I don't remember all the names, to be honest, on who had it. Venomade we looked at, his wasn't very interesting. Definitely makes him stronger, but nothing revolutionary. Freezard, he was on the list as well. 7, and he's getting 8 as well, but on his worst ability, it just goes up. He gains more health and recover more turn meter when hit to death the first time. Freezard's turn meter reduction goes up to 100% instead of just 75, and 40% more damage. His second ability gains 40% magic damage and extra 25% chance to give armor decrease. And not very interesting, 40% more damage to his basic, and of course guarantees a slow instead of 75% chance. So that was pretty straightforward. Slinger, was he on the list? No. Kyra, no. Boreas, Titania. When is the next one? Radash? No. Trying to remember. No. Foul could be one, and Puncherface, yeah. Let's see if Puncherface was another. Nope. Good enough. Foul. She gains 50% extra damage and extra turn meter if she lands a hit, and extra turn meter if she gains a critical hit. So that gives her 10% extra turn meter if she critical hits, and then extra damage. The AoE is probably something similar, 60% extra damage and 5% extra turn meter reduction to enemy. Cheat death, now that was something new. Instead of just giving dodge increase to all allies, to 4 allies and herself for 2 turns, there is also cheat death to not just herself, but to 4 allies as well. And instead of just receiving 30% physical damage flat and the ability to inflict burning when crit, she also gets 5% extra for each living panda. So that's double the passive, really. That was nice. Now I really don't remember the last ones. 6. I don't think this guy, no. Oh, he got a new visual, by the way, if you didn't see that one. Atom, I think it was. Yeah, and he's nasty. Because taking Garm out of Goblin Team to pair him up with half-pigs will render the old Atom absolutely useless. He will not taunt reliable, but his upgrade here will make him able to tank again, even without Garm. So at level 7 it does absolutely nothing. 5% is appalling and a joke, but when he gets to level 8, he gets 80% chance to taunt every time he's taken a turn, and he taunts at the start of battle, which is the most significant part for him. Then he's getting an extra guaranteed taunt whenever he uses his shield, plus more shield, and he gets extra damage. That doesn't matter, he doesn't do any damage on that one, but he calls a random ally to assist if the target is afflicted with damage decrease, which is highly likely because he spams that all the time in a Goblin team. With this ability, which goes up to 100% chance, 100% physical damage, and 50% chance to inflict damage decrease instead of just 40%. That was another one. Kagi, I think, yes. Deals 160% magic damage, will go up with a 50% chance to repeat the attack, goes up to 100%, and more damage, no, just up to 75%. And then at level 8, guaranteed 2 attacks and 175%. Tornado going up 50% in damage and increases 25% chance to increase allies' accuracy. That is lame. Gain haste and applies to 4 allies for 2 turns. Restores 20% turn meter to himself and 4 allies, and gain haste and applies it to 4 allies for 2 turns. Wow, that is a big one. This is massive. Ooh, and cooldown. Whoa. Okay, this is a giant update for him, definitely. Level 6, I didn't even buy that because it doesn't matter. Level 7, does it matter then? 10% more damage if Boreas is in the team. He and Kagi both gain tenacity for 2 turns. Yeah, okay. Not that great, but okay. But the haste ability was amazing. No. Robin Bad, perhaps? No. Who was the next Kilrian? No. Master Duo, for sure. No, I thought that. Bad memory here. There was definitely a orc. Yeah, Corkrim. Increases before he gets 5% additional potency for each living orc. in the party. Now he gets 5% potency and 2 speed. That's the difference. 2 extra speed, so that's 10% for a full team. What about this one? Because that's a useless ability in almost every situation before. I haven't upgraded it at all. I don't know what to use it for. Before 360, and if the target is stunned and burned, all enemies will get a measly 100% extra magic damage. That goes up to 200, nothing else. Oh yeah, there is something. If the target is stunned or burned instead of and burned, that's massive. Then it makes sense to get it. At level 7 it's suddenly good, and at level 8 it continues the same, just more damage really. I think it will do a lot of damage. 50% chance to stun goes up to 75%. That's wrong. 50 to 75, but it says 20. So something it's 70 or 75. I don't know, but that's something for the devs to fix. 190 to 240. Basic, inflict burning for 2 turns. 50% extra magic damage, and additional 20% magic damage for each application of burning on the target. Inflict burning for 3 turns. So suddenly this guy will start to dish out a lot of damage. I don't remember the last ones. Sharp. I did remember a bit. Guarantees a damage and armor decrease. And that's his level 8. Wombo combo, attacks 3 times, 30% more damage. Get 40% turn meter if all 3 attacks crits. And goes further up. Restores 20% of damage dealt as shield and 60% turn meter. Wow, then he's starting to get fast. Maybe he's getting good at it actually. Before crit chance increase, all allies for 2 turns. He gains crit damage increase for 2 turns. Accuracy also. Yeah. And his passive, 10% extra crit chance. Wasn't that it? I don't think there was more. Varan. He could really need it, but no. Well, he needs stats more, really. I'm not sure there was any more. I think I remember all of them now. Roxy, perhaps? Nope. I think that was all then. Not sure what else to go over. There'll be some events coming up pretty soon. You will get this guy, 50 of him, for free, logging in for 1 week. Remember to do that. New camping notes, of course. I'm not sure there's new ones. There's just changed notes. Yeah, there's nothing new, I think. No, doesn't look like it. Did we get anything new in the shop? Not sure about that either. I think I'd better just wrap it up. I can't remember anything more. I can go over the patch notes, of course. There's a big event. Now you're warned. That's the guild raid. 7th ability for some characters. Yeah, you get them in the guild raid as well. Those new scrolls for abilities. Oh yeah. That's a big one. Forgot that. Sorry. The artifacts. And there's the player rating. We'll have to see how they've used that. I don't know yet, and it doesn't say. New race. That's the events. Oh yeah, Redash. Sorry, I forgot him. Red Dash, and then the artifacts. Red Dash, third ability before, only removed debuffs from himself, and was it Shadar as well? No, I think it was just himself, and then he gave turn meter to himself and Shadar. But now he will, if Redash is afflicted by less than 2 debuffs, he will remove 1 debuff from each allied demon and inflict them to random enemies with the same duration instead. And then he heals for more, I think that's it. So basically he can, instead of just removing debuffs from himself, he can remove 1 from the entire party if he's only got 1. Less than 2, that's 1, so he'll remove all the debuffs from the team if you only debuffed him a little. And the artifacts. Now this is the same as it was before. I haven't leveled that one up yet. But this one is not the same. Looking at 4 and 5 stars, they go up by a huge chunk. Let's go up and see buffs, I think. No. Who has one? There we are. Crit chance. Suddenly up to 12%. That's been boosted. And if that is upgraded, it goes up by double. So getting those 4 and 5 stars artifacts will be very important, because that's a double. That's not for fun. Before it was, I think this was 8 or 10 before, and then it went up to 12 perhaps. Now it's 12 and goes up to 24. I don't remember how much that increase was before. It was 8 or 10. Maybe it was just 8, and now it's 12. That's 4% extra crit chance, that's big. You have to look at all your characters again, those that have 4 and 5 star artifacts, because their crit chance, if you've tried to optimize, for example, on the Talan lead, they will be off now, and you can possibly lose some crit chance and get some speed. That was a pro tip for you. All the artifacts have been changed that way, but I'll have to look more into that. I will update again on this. This was a long video and there's lots more to tell. I'll go back and look at the raid. I'll go back and look at artifacts. I'll go back and look at all the characters, those that I haven't read the skill sets for, the new half-picks and dwarfs, sorry. And I will release another video as soon as possible. Have a great Christmas.